Because if you're going to an investor and you have zero debt, that means to me as an investor, you don't believe in your fucking company and you don't want to spend your own money. You're coming to me to spend my money. And we can play around the words and we can do it anything else. And maybe some investors don't see it that way. But I ain't putting a single penny of my own money if you're not willing to put any single penny of your own money.
Okay, I did.
Do you get what I mean with that?
I did. Would you want to invest in my company?
It's so lovely to meet you, Hamad. I feel like I'm looking into a better mirror.
Yeah, it's the beard, I guess.
It's a beard, right? You look like you're hitting the sun, working out. It's cool, good, man. So tell me, what's about this whole coaching business?
Well, I started off 4 years ago, but I've been doing like just bits and pieces of it based on whoever wanted some sort of kind of support. I just was in the sense of, okay, how could I better people? And then I was like, you know what? I got into the hang of it. I loved it. And I've seen the impact it has on people's lives and the value that I can bring to the table when it comes to that sense. And ever since I made up that idea of, you know what, this is what I want to do for a living, I decided on quitting my job end of 2017 and pursuing this full time.
And who gave you that inspiration? I mean, I don't think you just woke up one day and were like, you know what, I'm going to be a life coach.
Oh, interesting. No one. I think I got into the point where I've chosen myself, like for once in my life, you know, like what does Hamad want? And this made perfect sense to me. And I woke up one day, I was like, you know what? Today's the day. Gave in my resignation. Here, by this point, I had like a couple of certifications. I've done it for myself. And that's when I was like, you know what? Today I choose me. And walk in, give in my resignation, and never look back.
And how old were you at that point that you made the decision, hey, you know what? Life is too short to live it for other people.
4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Yeah, which is 30. At 30, yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know how old you are now. Yeah. So I couldn't do the math for you.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it's fascinating to me that for 30 years almost you lived your life for other people, right? For their expectations, their demands. Looking back on it, do you think you needed the 30 years? Or did you think, hey, you know what? I should have just taken that step a little sooner?
I think most of us, for some reason, we don't see it from that perspective. What happens is you live your life and unintentionally you are influenced or directed based on the environment that you live in, right? They kind of give you the aspect of this is how life goes, this is what you need to be doing, this is what's better for you, and they do it out of love. Yet you take that and at that point that becomes your inspiration. But when your outer reality doesn't match your inner reality, that's where the conflict happens. That's when you feel like, you know what, what's going on? I'm not happy. Things are not going the way that I want, you know? And this is where people stumble upon the midlife crisis, I would say, or the point that they want to, you know, like they're not happy.
Sure.
But it comes down to you. What do you do about it?
So are you most of your client base then people who are going through their midlife crisis or younger?
I guess I met a lot of people.
Okay.
I worked with a lot of people. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And
that doesn't answer the question though.
Yeah. No. The thing is, no. What I want to aim to is everyone's different. Some people need a nudge. Some need a punch. Some needs a slap. Okay. So it depends on where you are at life and what kind of event that triggers you, that wakes you up. You know, that what's the shake that gets you up. Some people have to have like something dramatic for them to wake up and, you know, just start doing. For me, I would say, okay, nothing bad happened, yet it got into a point where like I was, I feel like I was being put in a box, and that box is becoming tighter and tighter and tighter until I got like, you know what, I had it. Like, and that's what led me to break free.
Do you feel like escaping the matrix, because that's how I look at it, right? That 95% or so of people don't really think for themselves. They're kind of like almost like an NPC, right? Where they just regurgitate things they're told. They don't really put any emphasis or thought into it. They don't really have any aspirations or dreams or anything 100%. Like that. I once at university, I met a guy who said he wants to work for Pizza Hut. And I was like, what? Pizza Hut? Out of all the companies in the world? Yeah. Why? Their pizza isn't even that good. And he said, well, it's safe. Right? And I was so confused by that answer, because again, I thought to myself, well, you could also work for Shell. That's also a very safe bet, right? Okay, yeah. And his explanation was, well, oil is going to run out one day, but people are always going to want pizza.
But I like the association to it, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, like, a lot of people would jump onto something without thinking why are they doing it. But if you have someone who's doing something and there is some sort of association factor associated with that specific thing that he wants to do, that makes it more meaningful. For instance, we were talking about it. I want to add value to people.
Sure.
And how do I do it? It's using my knowledge, experiences, and everything that I went through on a personal scale. It makes me more compassionate towards people. So what I do is I kind of try to bring all these subject matters, the education and whatnot, and try to kind of mold it in a way that would work best for you.
Okay.
And that's the type of value I want to add to you, so that you build a better understanding of yourself and live a better quality of life.
Okay. First I'm going to dig deeper, because what are your client bases? What are the age groups? Because we circumvented that question. So we're talking about more older or more younger? Don't give me that crap if it's all ranges.
No, because I worked, the youngest person youngest kid that I worked with was 9 years old.
Sure.
And the oldest so far was a 60-year-old lady.
Sure.
And
a lot of contrast between the two?
The young kid was for food.
Sure.
And the lady at 60, she wants to rediscover herself.
Okay. Well,
but that's the thing,
I don't know if I can. We'll cut this out if you don't like the joke. But at 60, I don't think there's a lot of rediscovery, girl.
Okay, we might be laughing about it. But this goes back to what we talked about. When does people get out of the matrix?
Sure.
It all comes down to you, and when is the right time for you that you're ready to take that step.
For me, for someone who's at 60 rediscovering themselves, is the same as a guy at 70 saying, you know what, I'm not happy with my wife, I'm going to get myself a younger model. Buddy, you're 70, forget about it. Call it quits. Go enjoy the beach. What are you worried about finding a 20-year-old? Get out of here.
I tried. I'm sorry if you see this. Yeah, he's the one who made it. I tried to save you. Anyways, but yeah,
So why the emphasis on nutrition on a 9-year-old? It's not like they have a lot of control.
He was obese at a 9-year-old.
Sure.
And the funny part is that's the main symptom, I would say, that the parent made them come find me and work with me. But when I sat down with the kid was bullied. The kid didn't know how to share and express himself, and it turned out that he was an emotional eater.
Sure, I imagine most 9-year-olds who are overweight are probably an emotional eater, right? But it's not like the 9-year-old has control. They don't have any purchasing power. They can't buy the sugary stuff. It's the parents.
It's the parents, exactly. That's what I did. When it came down to understanding that kid and getting to understand what he was going through, I know he won't be able to vocalize everything that's going on, right? But the fact that a stranger came to this house and sat down with this kid and was able to listen, right? To literally give this kid a space to talk and express himself. Why didn't the parents do that? They didn't acknowledge this kid for what he was going through, and they blamed the food.
I love that, by the way, because parents always blame their child, right, on their own shortcomings, right? It's because my son or daughter is dumb. That's why they didn't do well at school. But all that kind of stuff, right? And at the end of the day, it's like, well, no, you You're just lazy. You don't want to raise a kid.
For some, there is a lot of truth to that, unfortunately. And for me, like because of that kid, I worked with a couple of other kids, and that kind of gotten me to even work with the younger generation right now, because it feels like there is, they are not seen, they're not heard. And if you don't support this generation at that given moment, what would they grow up to be?
Oh, they're not going to support you when you need medical help. That's how that happens. You're going to have your fat son putting you in a home. That's how that ends.
But the funny part is, Hamad, that most people come in and they're like, okay, we want to lose weight. We want to live a more active lifestyle.
Sure.
But the fact is, that's what's on the surface. Like for me, when I work with people, we literally dig in deeper and go to the root causes of what makes you feel this insecurity that I'm not happy with myself, or what leads you to that instant reaction of, go grab that, cheesecake or donut or whatsoever every time you feel like irritated or you feel frustrated or anything that's not good, right? That emotional urge of, let me eat my emotions away. So there's a deeper understanding to that. And this is how I like to work with people. I want to make sure that you get to a point where you understand yourself enough to help you break out that habit.
Okay. And give me the steps. How does that then happen?
So more or less, there's a lot of trials and errors, definitely. But the fact that you get to give this person the space again to understand what is it that has been neglected, what have been put under the rug, the suppressed emotions, the thoughts or the urges that they wanted to do, and who their authentic self is. You get to start to dig in deeper to understand them as human beings first.
Okay.
And what has been projected on them.
Sure.
That made them suppress all that.
Sure.
To survive, kind of thing. And this is where we kind of start to see the patterns.
And this is the police officer in you then coming out, right? Asking leading questions, being like, hey, how come you feel like you need to eat? That kind of stuff. And you dig that way in, or what?
No. When it comes to food, that's the last thing on the toolkit, I would say. I try to make sure that...
Show me your fridge.
We work on the habits, behaviors, thought processes, and based on that, you get to understand, okay, now that I started understanding why am I acting this way, this is where we kind of introduce new habits and behaviors that support where you want to go, what you want to be. And by that itself, it makes you eat better. It makes you respect yourself more. It makes you do whatever is it that you have to do to kind of get you to that new version of yourself.
Okay, I get what you're saying now. Where you mentally imagine the best version of yourself, then ask yourself the decision of what would the best version of yourself's decision would be, and therefore then lean onto those decisions, right? Okay. So is your practice then more centered around virtualization, in the sense of like you want to virtualize the best version of you, the best body of you, the best career of you?
It depends on, I'll use a lot of depends. And
sure.
When you work with a professional, they need to use the word depends, because eventually there's not a PDF file on like, how am I going to work with this? And this is going to be like used to everyone else.
There's not a button that says fix it.
Exactly.
Right?
So why do I say it depends? It's because when it comes to me, let's say working with you right now, you come to me like, Hamad, I want to
lose weight. Let's go for it.
We want to lose weight,
since you already made that comment earlier.
I don't mean it in that way though. Huh? Yeah. So eventually, let me tell you a story.
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Let me tell you a story. So I have this person who looks good, mother of 3 children. She's in a very good shape of her life, right? She has a good position, financially she's doing well, marriage is perfect, but
I don't believe that.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, she has it good.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. The only thing is she's not happy about her weight. I'm like, why? It's like, I want to lose that 5 kg. And she kept on, and she trains like crazy. She literally trains crazy. I'm like, you look good, you are fit. Don't forget, like, you just had 3 kids, so overall, alhamdulillah, like, I mean, this is a good point that you are in, and step by step, gradually you could get to where you want. But why are you beating yourself that hard? Anyways, one thing like another, we started talking, and it got us back to when she was a teenager. And once we hit to that point, this is like unintentional. It was like all mostly in her subconscious, right? She wasn't aware of why is she being too hard on herself today. And when we went back in time, it turned out that she had a crush on someone who was her cousin, and she was overweight her whole life, like chubby her whole life, and she never had that insecurity about herself until this person who she's emotionally connected to, that she likes, commented on her weight. And not only did he comment on her weight, he saw her, she was like opening the fridge and she was eating out of the fridge. It's like, you're a pig.
Okay.
So that by itself kind of made her realize what's wrong with me. And next day she sees him with someone skinny, like someone smaller, kind of, right? And the association that happened and kind of was engraved in her mind, oh, I'm fat, nobody will like me. And that's something that she lived with the whole life. So this is where you want to understand people, sometimes to that instance, so that you know what kind of inner cause, I would say, what the deeper cause, trauma, that kind of leads them to act a certain way, where they keep on self-sabotaging themselves. Unfortunately, this is what I'm telling to people, that...
I mean, it doesn't sound like self-sabotage in the sense that she's married, she's got 3 kids, she's a happy wife,
How is she, like, she's beating herself into shape. People work out to feel good, and they should see how could they maintain a healthier lifestyle. But
by the way, let me interrupt you on that, because that's a very powerful statement that I don't think enough people understand or even connect with, and that's working out to feel good. Especially runners run in order to punish themselves, which is a really weird mentality. Because if you talk to generally, like general public, what do you think about running? They'd be like,
they don't like it.
It's horrible.
Some people do, which...
And those are the people that understand that they do it for the joy of it. And it really, I ran like a half marathon.
And there's a runner's high you get, like if you actually run to a point where you actually like it and enjoy it, you get this euphoria, and you get used to it. But you have to break through the pain factor first until you get to that point. But there's a lot of people who can't bear the pain.
Well, for what helped me was the Nike Run app. They have like that running coach where you can listen to the headphones, and just like hearing it over and over again. Hey, you're not running for a race. You're not running because you want to finish like a certain time, right? You're doing the run because you want to enjoy the run. And so when you start thinking about that, and then you go, hey, you know what? The weather looks pretty good. Oh, those trees looks kind of nice. And then more and more, you as every mile, every kilometer passes, you're like, oh, that bridge is kind of cool. That person is cool, right?
That's a positive reinforcement. Right? This is, see what you did right now is you just didn't wear your clothes and just went running. You kind of built it up. You built the, let's say, the foundation, the discipline, and like into it. You've jumped into it for the right reasons. For me, I would say, like, even this is when I work with people, I always say, like, let's make you live a better quality of life. Let's find the feel good factor when it comes to like coming to eating good, training and whatnot. For me, anyone, like, I just recently became a personal trainer. I tell people what my aim is: to let you function like God intended and like at least be able to carry yourself when you're 60, 70, 80, inshallah, or even longer, and don't become a burden on yourself and anyone else.
Don't you feel like the PT and the personal trainer, PT obviously standing for personal trainer, that there's almost like a dichotomy, a counterculture between the two? Because I would say generally people that go to a PT, sure, they want to like look better or whatever, lift heavier weight or run a longer mile. But I would say from PTs I know, most of them say the client just wants to get beaten up, right? They just want to come in and they just want to feel like they did like a hard ass workout, right? They put their dues in and then they'll disappear, come back maybe in a week, maybe in 2. Some don't come for months at a time. And that cycle then continues. And I know PTs who sit there with their client and be like, listen, I mean, I can fuck you up. I can, we can do an Ironman if you want to do that, but that's not going to get you to your goals.
100%.
But people just.
But that's the thing. It goes back to, again, what I told you. What is your why? Why are you here? Why do you want to lose that excessive amount of weight in a very short time? And eventually you said it yourself. They'll come for some time and they're gone. Sure. So their why was because I'm going to travel. Their why is because like the basic, idea of I want to travel, I want to look good for summer, or you want to fit in a certain dress, wedding, whatnot. Like the goal associated to the association to the goal that they have is not something meaningful for them to kind of make it last. You know what I mean? And this is one of the main common things that you get to see. Why do people yo-yo, right? When it comes to losing weight, gaining it, losing it, because they're not doing it for the long term. They're not doing, I kid you not. I'm sure that if something that health related might happen to them, maybe that would be an incident that will make them, okay, like now I need to take care of myself,
I agree with you.
One factor I would say, Hamad, with all due respect to everyone out there, if this is how you want to do it as a trainer, you do you. I have no thing against anyone, because eventually this is his personal brand.
Well, he's got to eat, right? Everyone's got to eat.
Exactly. Again, to be honest, that's the thing. Like, this is their personal brand. Like, you could go to every brand out there, no matter what sector you're going to talk about. Everyone has a certain value and way of doing things, right? Similar to us, at the end of the day, we are service providers, but everyone has their own niche, their own style on doing things. For me, I'm in it for the long term. If you want to make sure that you want to live a sustainable kind of lifestyle, come work with me. Okay. But if you want, I don't work with people to get them stage ready. It's not like something that I'm interested in. Can I do it? Probably, but it's not something that I'm going to do. Like, if you're coming in just to lose weight with nothing like a deeper meaning to it, I will work with you to understand you better, to make sure that we kind of shift that mind into finding a better meaning. And then whatever you do, because it becomes a lifestyle, the weight loss will come with it. Feeling good will come with it. Exercise will come with it. The byproduct of you putting in the work is losing weight, feeling good, becoming stronger.
First of all, it's very interesting that you use the word byproduct as achieving what you want rather than being the main focus of your goal. I would like to ask you on this, because it's something that people, I think, don't recognize or don't take into account, is that if you're working a 9-to-5 job, and I'm talking about working like a stressful job, not like, come on, I'm sitting on like my desk and on Facebook. Like, let's be real here, right? If you're a broker who's got like millions of dollars coming in and out, right? You're switched on, right? You're on it. To then go from working for 8 or 9 or 10 hours as a broker to then going to do CrossFit or HIIT training, you're fucking yourself up.
100%.
There's this weird dichotomy where you go from a high stress environment, right, where your cortisol, where your hormonals are just skyrocketing.
Thank you for that.
And then going to like a training that is going to even further
Exactly.
And then when you finally get sick or when you get tired, it hits you like a brick in the face. People don't get that.
I thank you for bringing that up, man, because eventually, what is your, where do you vent? What kind of helps you kind of ease that stress? And this is a stimulator and this is a stimulator. Like, you'll be always stimulated to the point that, that will get you to the breaking point. How's that humane as well? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's why I always use the term, you're beating yourself into shape, thinking that, okay, this is going to be good. But some people are like, okay, this is my fix. Good on you. How long are you going to last?
But that's the same as like a smoker saying, I smoke because I want to unstress. By the way, I don't ever use that argument. I like smoking because I like the taste.
the fact, like, for me, okay, I understand, some people just get into the joy of smoking. It helps them ease the relieve the stress and whatnot. But what's the actual thing that's happening is you slowing down your breathing. When you smoke, you take deeper breaths in,
sure,
and eventually breathe out. Like, you shift the state that you're in. You were stimulated, you were tired, you were anxious, you're stressed out. What you did, like, you went out of that environment, you go somewhere else, you light up that smoke, and you start smoking. What happens? You slow down.
I would make a concession here, an asterisk, so to say. I don't so much smoke in order to get away from stress, because I like high intense environments. I feel enjoyment being in them.
Nice.
I smoke, for me personally, is for the cognitive aspect of it. Nicotine is a great neurotropic. So is caffeine. So for me, especially when I'm facing with a difficult problem, I love that little extra boost cognitively it gives me.
And that's why there is the nicotine patches, gums.
Or gums, absolutely, yeah. But I don't like chewing, and I don't want to walk around like an asshole with a sticker on my arm and telling people, "Oh, give me a second, let me put my another sticker on."
If I don't do that,
exactly.
I'll go crazy on you.
Plus 30%, you look 30% cooler if you smoke.
I never tried it. I never know. But yeah,
that's a joke, by the way. Yeah.
Kids, don't try that. The only thing is, as I mentioned, the change of state.
Mm-hmm.
It's what kind of helps you, realign, recalibrate, and for you to be able to focus again. So whatever that is for you should be something that you understand and do it for the right reasons.
Do you do a lot of meditation practice with yourself or with your clients, or is that not really something you're into at the moment?
Okay. Again, I like to talk about myself, and eventually whatever I kind of give to people based on what they want to do. For me, my meditations is my prayers. We pray 5 times a day, and that's literally how I incorporate my meditation to shut off completely from this world and be in that moment where I breathe, I reconnect with God, and eventually this helps me so much, and
you're a pious man. Pious means like religious,
I would say
focused.
I would say I have a beautiful relationship with God in my own ways, because eventually God is internal,
It's interesting that you bring that, because I remember reading a study that cognitively, the same brain state a nun is in when praying is the same as a monk meditating. Isn't that a fascinating fascinating perspective? I think there's a lot of overlay between the two. I mean, meditation has a lot more to do with breathing forms than prayer itself has, but both have this very, very concentrated singularity to it.
So, like, if you think about it, it's the stillness. It's the stillness of the mind overall, anything else. The only thing is, what you see people do is just a practice, right? If you don't have that stillness and the inner connection with it, you're just performing a prayer. You're not actually praying. So this is where I literally just...
Those are fighting words. Not with me. You're telling people how to pray? Be warned. Be warned.
I'm not telling how to feel. Like I don't care. Like again, you guys, I'm talking about myself, but this is the whole idea, right? You have people like, doing it just so fast, and that's it. Like I prayed, like, no, he did it. The whole purpose, and for me is just, I'm saying, since we're talking about meditation and we're talking about that stillness and the mindfulness that's associated with it, I'm just saying, you again find what works best for you, and then try to incorporate it. Some people just tell you, like, what, I just lay down still for a few minutes. Some people call it power naps. Some people call it laziness. Laziness, if it says. I just stumbled upon something called brown noise. I heard white noise and whatever it is.
Okay.
But brown noise is, if I could play it to you,
it'll make you poop.
Why?
That's what brown noise is, buddy.
No.
Yeah. Dan, look it up.
I could play it to you right now.
I'm promising you, brown noise is like, it's meant to be that same noise that your intestines make.
No.
Yeah.
No,
yeah. Type in brown noise.
That's it, yes.
Type in brown noise and then South Park.
This is it, man. This is it. This is what I'm talking about. Play this. It's mostly, it's related to kind of, if you have...
Play brown noise and then South Park.
I don't care about South Park. Man, you're talking about South Park right now?
Yeah, I'm telling you right now.
Oh my God.
Look it up, Dan. Look it up. I'm not going to let this go. I'm not full of shit. I know for certain.
Listen to this for a second. How is this your intestine, man? It sincerely helps you.
He's put it on mute. Now type in what I'm telling you to type in.
This is like how your stomach sounds?
Absolutely. Watch, dude. Watch. You're gonna learn something right now, buddy. Brown noise.
Why would you mess it up for me?
South Park.
Dude, why would you mess it up for me? Seriously. There's the brown noise. Fuck's sake.
Told you. And then, or type in brown noise for pooping.
It's right there. See how many of them say the whole world pooping at this.
Told you.
You okay?
Here, the brown note is hypothetical, infrasonic, blah 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 blah, facial, blah 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 blah.
The brown note.
The resonance in the human bowel. There you go.
It's the brown note, man.
Same difference.
Yeah. What the hell? Anyways, guys, look it up. Like, because I think I have ADHD.
Sure.
And this literally shuts my mind off, man.
I thought you were going to say something else when you say shut.
Yeah. Shit.
Oh my God. It helps a good night's sleep. I don't doubt that. So why the brown noise then?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's called brown noise. Not the note. It has nothing to do with South Park. Use it. It helps in concentration.
All right. Why brown? Why not white? Why not pink noise?
Again, what works for you? Why did I say like?
I'm saying, why does brown work for you?
That's the thing. I heard a lot of white noise is like sound of birds, water, rain, these kind of stuff. There are like white, red, pink, whatever it is. Like there's a lot of stuff. It's not. I don't care about what they call them. I'm talking about the sound.
Okay.
This works like a vacuum.
Okay.
Like literally it sucks out like every sound out there.
Go on, tell me more. It sucks out every sound out there. Go on.
Everything is related to shit. Here, right?
I finally broke you.
Shit.
Go on, Hamad. This is fun, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like this works good for me.
So tell me more about what happens. Why you're working now with kids with disabilities? How did that stuff happen?
Volunteering.
Volunteering?
Yeah.
And what, you just like woke up one day and you said like, hey, you know what? I don't have enough to do in my life. I'm going to go do that as well?
Yeah, that's about it.
Oh shit, that's cool, dude.
No, man, as I said, I've done like quite, and when it comes to charities and stuff like that, alhamdulillah, like I always believe in giving back. I was fortunate enough that God was really good to me. Eventually I tried to give back. And this program came out of nowhere. Like the owner of the place is someone like a very dear friend of mine, Sana. She's doing an amazing job. It's the first place.
Is the place called Reach?
Wonders.
Okay, there's another one that's called Reach or something
exactly.
like that. Yeah.
Reach is educational. This is to do with training, like physical training. So it is the first training facility for autistic children. So this is the people, like we call them athletes, and I love that. So we work with these athletes to help them get better.
And that's fantastic. That's fantastic. And do you do this like once a week or twice a week?
Mondays and Wednesdays, yeah. The program's going on and anyone could volunteer. We're trying to spread more awareness around it, try to show that even these kids, there are adults and kids as well who are, as competent as you are, as functional as you are. They're a bit different, but,
Okay. Feels a little insulting, but okay. I mean, okay. Thank you. Okay, go on.
Everybody's unique in their own ways, man. Like we see them as disabled, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem. People see, everyone as a disabled person, either the way they talk, the way they act, and whatnot.
Sure.
But this is it. We trying to have that kind of way of acceptance. And this is something that would literally humble you.
I worked with disabled kids when I was younger. I know the process.
Well, you did. Others don't,
I agree. I don't know if it's for everyone, to be honest, because it does take a lot of
it is
patience.
True. That's the word, man. 100%. Because every kid is unique in their own ways. Every kid is unique in their own ways, yeah.
Sure.
Some people are easy, some people are not, but it comes down to the patience. And how, because with patience, you'll be able to learn how to, work around a certain person.
And how did you start? How did you find your first client starting as a therapist? Well, I don't know if you want to put yourself as a title as a therapist, as a life coach, I guess.
Yeah, just coach. I don't.
Sure.
Because combining all these matters, I do business, personal training, and I call this like well-being.
Sure.
So, coach.
Coach. Okay. And how much did you charge for your first client, and how much do you charge now?
Well, I recently, after like all these years, I just slightly raised up my prices, but it was always around the same average. You could look up the bio, link in the bio.
Sure.
There's everything.
Okay. So you don't want to say it on.
Like it makes it easier. I'm not going to be like, personal training.
Okay. Dan, can you bring up the TV so people can find out his Instagram
it's
right now?
See how organized and see.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is like 15 minutes consultation is something that I do so that we need to figure out if I'm the right person for you.
Sure.
If not, I have like a list of trusted experts that I could connect you with.
Sure. That's cool.
I'm ethically that way. The new program that I came up with is the M&M's method, which stands for...
You're going to get sued for that, but go on.
It's the M&M's it's different than it was.
Yeah, sure. I'm just going to call it the Disney method, and I'm going to be fine as well.
Well, do that. So it is mindset, nutrition, movement, and self. So everything to do with the self-discovery, self-development, and whatnot. So I have these two. I have this summer camp program is for the kids and the adults. And then we go to the well-being coaching, which is a combination of life coaching, health coaching, and mental health modalities combined together. You have the business coaching and the personal training. And when it comes to personal training, I do it both ways, either privately or semi-privately.
So the private personal training, that's the gym thing, right? That's like more focused on exercise and training, right? Traditionally. And the wellness being is you just like observing, talking about potential faults and problems and how to correct your thinking, blah 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 blah. So what is the business coaching then?
Business coaching is I am a business strategist. I work around people, either experts like myself or entrepreneurs.
Okay.
These are the two factors, the two kind of segments that I like working with. Mm-hmm. If you're an entrepreneur, you kind of especially when it comes to entrepreneurship, it's mostly about problem solving. And this is where my strength lies in. So I work with them, and especially when it comes to branding, marketing, strategizing.
Okay.
And same thing with experts. literally everything that I've learned starting from ground up. I kind of help people with pricing, positioning, content,
Wasta.
Kind of.
Yeah. Well, that's what business is, right? At the end of the day, more than money and everything else, it's all about connections.
Connections.
Yeah,
but like I would say the Wasta, I would say I was fortunate. I mean, like I recently worked onto my page, and alhamdulillah, I got into like a significant amount of growth because I was able to work a lot in the back in the behind the scenes with companies, organizations. So I was able to kind of have like a mass audience through this one event kind of thing.
Okay.
Which helped me grow my page. And now my wasta is I bring people to utilize this platform.
Sure.
I love collaborating. I want to remove that idea of, we're competition, because there's plenty of people, no matter what, you are still limited to your time. You are still limited to the type of people that want to work with you. So don't think you got it all. Remove that ego aside and let's work together. You have a strength, I have a strength. Let's work together and eventually, let the end goal be the welfare for others. Like the ultimate goal is let's make this world a little bit better.
Okay.
Right? So this is where I use my platform, and that by itself led me to open up my business, which is the Nourishers. So all I did is just add an S to it, and eventually now we are the tribe of experts that come working together, create this ecosystem where I not only now just give them consultations, but I give them like solutions where they could manage their business better. So like it's an operation system. And also we work on ways to better you as an expert, training and get you more revenue streams.
Okay. Can you give me an example or something you've done with business to do whatever necessary, whatever they wanted for that particular business?
Yeah. So
I mean, not every business cares about revenue, right? Some of them want growth, some of them want cost cutting, some of them want market appeal, whatever.
What we do for companies is corporate wellness programs. So it's all about the wellness, either workplace wellness or like the environment or to the employees.
So wait. So business coaching is the wellness, but for business sector, or when you work for businesses, you do the wellness for the group.
Now separate Hamad. Like
okay.
So we have Hamad as the business owner, which is the Nourishers.
Sure.
And you have Hamad as the expert.
Okay.
The business coaching, as I said, is for entrepreneurs. Let's say someone who has a startup, has a small business that he wants to kind of improve, some challenges that like I use my connections and whatever resources that I have to help them stable and grow their business.
Go into a little bit of that. Do you have any past clients that you've worked with to achieve it?
Yes. Let's say for now, like I worked as a marketeer for like a tech business.
Okay.
I'd rather not say it. Another platform that was about to launch, which was into my field, like I helped them with the infrastructure, getting them the resources needed, and eventually even the technical challenges that they face. I got them like ready-made tools so that they saved a lot of money, and just let them start working. And there's a couple of others. Restaurants. I'm into food business as well. So like that by itself, I worked as a consultant for a supermarket that I was with for quite some time. You get to see the pictures on my profile. So these people as well, when it came to the setup, when it came to the type of products maybe they needed, trainings and whatnot, this is something that I actually helped as well.
Okay, because I'm the reason I'm hounding you on this, Hamad, is because a lot of people who would be looking at it from the business aspect would be asking, okay, well, he does coaching, he does wellness, he does fitness, 100%. But what does the business coaching get me? That's why I'm hounding on you on that.
Why I'm saying it, like I wanna niche it down to entrepreneurs.
Okay.
When it comes to entrepreneurs, I am an entrepreneur myself. And I've seen like I am a solo entrepreneur, which a solo founder, I would say, that it took so much out of me, and this is where I want people to I don't want them to feel lonely. I don't want them to feel restricted. And some people are not fortunate enough with the type of resources that I have. If you come up to me right now and tell me, okay, this is the type of stuff that these are the type of challenges that I'm going through, I might be able to kind of connect you with someone. Like yesterday, a friend of mine, she's like, I met her, and she's like, oh, I'm coming up with this new app right now. It's taking too much of my time. I'm kind of, it's a bit of a challenge, literally, especially when it comes.
Let's build some hype on it. What is the app? Let's build some hype for the. Oh, no, you don't want to say that. Yeah.
Because literally yesterday, and I just don't want it to turn out as if it's something negative. Anyways, so.
Oh, okay.
But that's the thing. Like, I know how much time and effort that's gonna take, and money. But the minute she's like, okay, like we've been working on it for a whole year, and when she explained the concept to me, I'm like, I have a friend who already has the business established. It is an application as well. So I'm like, okay, and I know that this is something that you want to do, but what about I introduce you to each other, and maybe potentially you might work together, because he's doing it by himself as well.
Okay.
They might join in, and that would save them both a lot of energy. And like I know she's gonna bring more value to him, and he was gonna be able to give her the platform and whatnot.
If the two of them are serious, we can talk about it after the show. We had a guest on whose name is Hamad, who focuses around building apps here in Bahrain.
Okay.
I think he has a team of like 12 or 13 people.
Nice.
So he does like big projects here. So if the two of them want to do anything with apps or something like that, he would be a good contact to hit up and just invite for coffee and ask him questions about how the industry is and stuff like that.
Yeah. And to be honest, when it comes to technology, this is one of the worst parts of tech businesses, because at the end of the day, you have a lot of things that you need to put in consideration, and most people kind of work with developers that tend to show you like, okay, I know it all, but at the end of the day, when you start working, it turns out that you're not, like you don't have the right skills to deliver. And that's when you have someone who has a team. The team is what you want to look for. That's something that would be very efficient, where you'll get something very good in a short amount of time. And if someone doesn't show up, at least someone else is going to replace him.
Okay.
Unlike if you work with a freelancer.
Sure. I mean, the good thing about a freelancer is that you can always fire them very quickly, right? When you instead of having that when you build up that relationship with a potential like long-term employee, that sucks. That really sucks.
It's a double-edged sword, man. Because let's say there's a lot of stuff that I've heard. Like for me, I'm still new to this tech industry.
Sure.
And one of the main things that I get to hear that a common factor when let's say I told people that, okay, I had someone that was working with me, and unfortunately we broke off the relationship. It's like, Hamad Adi, I lost about 20,000 dinars onto this app, and someone's like, oh, I built this for this amount of money and took me this amount of time, and now I need to redo things all over again, and they want to make me feel like that is okay. But why is it okay? You know what I mean? It's like, if you take at least calculated risks and you kind of learn how to approach it in the right way, get someone that might be dependable.
Sure. Sorry, you just blew me away with those numbers, because at 20,000 BD is $40,000 US. Spending $40,000 US is in Bahrain would get you a fucking TV channel. Do you know what I mean? You like, if you're talking about just equipment, like a studio, like if you take that 40K and just invest it into a studio, you could have a news channel. Do you know what I'm saying? That's how crazy that amount is.
Are you into the tech field?
Yeah, sure. I can get you a programmer for $5K.
If you don't know about it,
sure.
Trust me, like anyone who'll come like out of the shelf, give you something ready and be like, you know what, this cost me like 6,000 BD. Like a ready-made application. Because the thing is, a lot of people don't even know how tech works, and a lot of developers, suck the life out of people, and eventually because they know that they need them.
There's too much cash in the industry. There's too much cash in the market. That's the problem for people to be spending that kind of dough. That's like startups getting like listings of like $5 million from VCs, right? That clearly shows that there's too much there's too much liquidity in the market for that. I mean, Dan, how much did Mohammed Ashur charge again for apps? I think he charged 5 to 10,000 BD, no? Starting from 6,000. Okay, and then we had that guy from who was it? What was his name again? From Hanlo?
Loy, yeah.
Loy?
Yeah.
I think he paid, what was it, 4,000? Or something like that, yeah.
He paid Ashur, same? Like, did he work with Ashur?
No, I think huh? No, he sourced to two different people. We need to get a mic for your end as well at some point. I think he had sourced it twice. Once he got screwed over. I mean, he's happy to say it since we talked about it. With some Indian company.
Yeah.
And I think they stole a lot of his money, and then they locked him out of the app, and then wanted him to pay ransom. Right? I mean, that's just how it is, right?
This is what I'm telling you. Like, there's a lot of law that's going through this when it comes to developers. There's a couple of companies that are kind of showing up here, and it's still considered a high-end pay when it comes to developing a application. Especially when Bahrain, I would say, like, literally for me, when I spoke to someone and regarding to developing my application, I kid you not, they told me that it's going to cost you something around 8,000.
Sure.
Whereas when I spoke to another guy who is like a developer abroad, he said, no, this would cost you something around 2 to 3. That's a huge
difference. I mean, he's taking a big cut for that.
And I'm sure even this developer wouldn't waste 2 to 3. It's not going to be like just covering his cost. This is with him making a good amount of profit.
Of course, right? I mean, he's probably taking a cut and then referring it to a different developer to do the work, right? Exactly, I mean, he's got to eat, right? You don't want to come between a man and his food. That's what I always say. Dan, we need to fucking put a mic on your end. What was the guy's name again who came on who talked about Kanu starting a cybersecurity business? Jameel. This is really interesting because Jameel talked about a similar issue what you're saying. He was saying that Bahrain, because of COVID, some of the laws have been delayed for cybersecurity. Data, if like data is being like hacked and firms are not like telling customers stuff like that. Right now, he was mentioning that there's not enough consequences for firms. There's not enough fines. There's not enough,
this is kind of new. They're like cybersecurity is just new to the market, and there is a department in the Ministry of Interior that's only focusing on cybersecurity.
Absolutely.
And I knew a couple of people. They're going to massive trainings. Just because they want to make sure that it's a well-established department, because right now there's a lot of things that's going on that needs to have an effective department to handle these matters.
And it's really interesting because I'm going to add into it a little bit more. He said because the consequences aren't severe enough from the business side of it, therefore they don't get to do the sales pitch. Because no one cares about cybersecurity if there's no consequences of somebody hacking your data, right? Do you get what I mean? Yeah. Firms are like, whatever, who cares? We're not going to pay a company 10,000 BD to make sure our data is safe if it doesn't if there's no fines attached to it.
Yeah.
And so while their headquarters are here in Bahrain, most of their customers are actually from Riyadh. Mm-hmm. And that's only the reason why. Because there's consequences associated for data leaks because the company has to pay fines. And I find that completely fascinating on the industry as a whole.
I mean, like, why would I spend something whereas I don't need to?
Exactly.
I could avoid it, yeah.
Exactly. It's fascinating.
I love how we're jumping from topic to topic and stuff. But yeah, that's related to my business coaching, my friend.
See? I mean, we're jumping from topic to topic because I think in the end of the day, this isn't a lecture or a webinar. Right? I'm not. My goal isn't to educate the public. My goal is to entertain. Right?
Brown noise.
Yeah, with brown noise and pooping and anything else you want to bring up. Fuck it hell.
Well, but I think touching upon now, I think this covers up a lot of the personal matters, like the services that I provide.
Sure.
The other hand is when I launched my platform.
I wanted to talk to you about that. So what is this business platform you have? I mean, it seems like a total separate thing.
I kind of separate both because, as I said, as a business owner.
Dan, can you look it up? Sorry to interrupt you, sir.
Yeah, no worries. So it is the same handle, just add an S.
So if you go on his Instagram, and then it should be right there, the founder. Yeah.
So this is, as a start, I would say this is a platform that provides experts like myself with an operation system.
Sure.
To instead of you going and opening up a website.
Sure.
Just using, let's say, benefit pay, using WhatsApp and your email or DMs for you to kind of communicate with your clients and collect payments. Now you could create your own page, put your packages, prices, schedule, collect payments all in one place. And you don't need to pay.
Whoa. Sorry, let me understand that correctly. So it's a service-based industry where companies can come and...
Individuals like me.
Individuals like you. Yeah. But, individuals like you are still businesses. In a sense, you're still a sole trader, right? Yeah. I mean, you're still offering a service.
Service, exactly.
Right? So what the company that you're trying to found or get established, I don't know if it's already up and running or
it is, but the URL bio kind of, for some reason, takes the time.
Okay.
But, yeah.
And do you get then a cut from when people use it?
We kind of launched our MVP, like until now. We're about to launch the new release. Like this is the first product. But with the MVP, we were able to show a proof of concept where we won the competitions and whatnot. Now the new website should provide people with all these factors fully automated, and also have their privacy where they could actually talk to the clients through the platform itself, instead of giving out their WhatsApp numbers.
Okay.
Because sometimes clients think they're too entitled to, like, just because I paid you, I could speak to you anytime.
At 3 a.m. in the morning, what are you up to?
So yeah, like this, for me, we're focused on trying to provide the needed services or tools for experts to do better.
Okay.
So this is my aim, to be honest. So yeah, that's why.
So your target market though is
the experts.
Is the experts, yeah. And their target field is wellness or experts in any kind of range.
So it's gonna be more or less, think about it from the freelancer perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a freelancer, so all the people that are not.
You don't say. Because what a statement is that? I mean, yeah, of course you're a freelancer.
So, because people they don't realize that.
Okay.
Because they're like, oh, I'm a coach, but you are a freelancer.
Yeah.
You're not associated to a company. You're not working in a clinic or a hospital or like a fitness center or whatnot, right? So how would you be able to manage yourself more efficiently? Is by using tools, like applications, websites, and whatnot. So this is something that would provide you all these matters in one place. The other factor that we have is the wellness programs, where we go to companies as a company, sit down with them, realize what is their values, what is their outcomes, what is it that they want for their employees. Is it performance? Is it stress-related matters, team building, engagement, you name it. We create programs for these companies so that it helps them reach to that outcome they want.
Okay.
And what I do with that is, once I create this package, I outsource the experts who give that kind of service, and we pay them their cut.
Sure, but Hamad, if I'm really trying to understand your business, because in a lot of ways it sounds almost like an agency,
mm-hmm.
and in a lot of works it sounds like Upwork or WeWork or not, whatever these like freelancer softwares are called.
Exactly.
So I'm just trying to understand what the USP is. Is are all the freelancers based in Bahrain? Are they international?
So we have a lot. First of all,
we can keep all this in. We can cut it. So don't feel like.
The thing is, I just put up the new website, but I haven't launched it.
Sure. So it's probably not running. So okay, it is what it is.
No, it is running. But we did the facelift to it, and I haven't showcased it yet. So
Okay.
nobody's actually going onto the website as of for now.
Okay, so
They're using still, most people are using the old website.
okay.
So don't try to find the website. I've been trying to kind of avoid it, but yeah.
Okay,
now,
so
now I'm saying it now.
Okay, so Hamad, we will put it in the description when it's ready. The full facelift of the website, and then people can access it. Then that way, if
People, like now, go to my page.
okay, Dan. He's on his phone. Dan, fuck you.
When you go to the link tree, go ahead to the link tree again. See how I organize the services. Now
Sure.
press on to the one session, anything like any of the sessions. Yeah. Now this is like it takes you straight away to our website.
Okay.
So all you have to do is you can just book the service, add it to your cart, and just straight away make the payment.
Okay, and how does the payment mechanism work? Is it Apple Pay? Is it credit card?
Debit and credit card, and this is something that is good for the customers, the expert that we work with. You can collect now payment from like the debits and credit cards, because unless you have a CR, that's only when you could get an ATM machine and collect payments. Or you could have a website and add to it a payment gateway for you to collect that.
Sure. I mean, you can put the gateway anywhere in the world. Exactly.
So this is where we want. Hamad, bottom line is we want you to do what you're good at.
Sure.
Which is giving the services, giving your services. And we don't want you to kind of have the headache of, just dealing with the operations and whatnot. So this is something that we provide. And I like that you kind of understood the agency aspect to it. We consider our experts as talent, and this is where we want to mold them, better them, give them the right tools and experience. I mean, the trainings that is needed so that they reach to a better level where they could give better quality service, and with it, they could have a better impact on their customers.
Okay. I mean, I get your sales pitch so far. I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done. If you don't mind me saying this, Hamad, I think from the perspective of getting good talent on the site, because that's what the priority, right? Is that good talent? So I don't know how you do the charging for the talent, your cuts and everything like that would have to be. I don't know the system, how it is, and neither do I feel like it's any of my business, so I'm not going to ask about it. The other thing is I would look at how you're setting up your payment schemes. I think for most freelancers who are looking for like longer term work, like 30 days plus, depending on whatever the contract is, because you can have a freelancer that you only need like for 2 or 3 days if it's like logo or video editor, and then if it's like a virtual assistant, you might need them like 6 months, right? And so that payment scheme would be very different.
But as of for now, consider it this way. We just launched. Our primary business model is use the system, sign up and use the system for free. You don't need to pay a listing fee or subscription.
Oh, so you're also thinking about that for later on. You have these thoughts, but for maybe 2 or 5 or 3 years down the line.
Again, ultimately, Hamad, I am trying to provide everything that I can for experts to do better.
Sure.
Simple. We charge a 15% cut out of the transaction.
Sure.
Okay. Other competitors are using 30 up to 50%.
Sure.
So we charge 15% flat.
Flat fee. Okay.
Okay. We will introduce subscriptions.
Sure.
But every subscription will offer you with tremendous amount of benefits.
On the demand side or the supply side?
On the supplier side.
Okay, so again, for your talent.
For the talents.
Yeah.
What I mean by that, the training, the type of add-ons that they need to do their practice, we want to become that one solution for all your needs.
Okay.
So that you don't go a waste of time. At the end of the day, you would need multiple applications or websites that you're going to pay small fees, but as an accumulative will cost you a lot.
So hypothetically, right? I've got a podcast right here. I go on your website and you go, what? And I go, you know what? I'm sick and tired of Dan being on his fucking phone. Yeah. And so I'm going to say, I'm going to hire a wellness coach to say, Dan, you don't need to be on your phone all the time. Okay. Right? And that's my goal. Would that person from your supply agency side, would they show up to my business and coach, Dan? Or would that then?
It depends on the coach right now. Again, we give them the operation. They could practice whatever they want. Like for me right now, like I am a talent.
Sure.
Right? That's why I'm telling you. Like I separate the things, but at the end of the day, I am a part of the talents.
Fuck me. You got a lot of hats that you're wearing. Jesus Christ.
So if you're gonna work with me, eventually it's either gonna be online or offline, depending on what is gonna be suitable for us both. You know, because you're in Bahrain, eventually I'm in Bahrain, we could assign the day and time, and like similar to I am here at the part of the podcast, you know, like this is something that could be same thing for the service.
Okay.
Yeah. So same thing with every other aspect, like every other expert.
Okay. Because that's the reason I keep asking these questions, Hamad, is because I'm trying to understand what your USP is. I mean, sure, it's 15% cheaper, right? That's fine. Or it's the flat fee is 15%. That's fine. I always think if when I'm looking at it as an investor, I look at three things.
Yep.
I look at its differentiation, means how differentiated is it to a product. Yep. I think of its relevancy, meaning how relevant is that differentiation to that customer, for that customer. And then finally, I look at the environmental, not the environmental of how's the environment, the pollution, all this kind of, like, for me as an investor, I don't give a shit about that. What I care about is how duplicatable is it? Like if you bring me a business, right, and you say we have this, and it's this relevant, and it's this differentiated to whatever other business. However, that differentiation can be copied, 100%. Like that. Then that's not a business that's too interesting.
So as of for now, again, we've been in the market for a year, right? Within this year, we have piloted it based on the management system. So as of for now, all I provide people with the management system for them to be able to manage their businesses. Think about it from that aspect. And when I give you the profile, see, it has that URL. You're marketing yourself. I don't care about you marketing the nourishers right now.
Okay.
Because as an expert, you know, like they have this sensitivity where why would I market other people as well, right?
Sure.
So the page will market you, your services. You're gonna get paid. It has your own schedule, and that's about it. So I'm giving you a tool.
Sure.
All right. So this is one business model. Again, when it comes to the corporate wellness programs, how well-rounded are you to be able to create packages and the program for these companies if you don't have the knowledge? Like, you know, this is one of the key factors that if you're gonna be like, okay, how duplicate that is, you know, like you can't have the knowledge and the experience that me and the team that we have, you know. There's always the factor of like the first comer. So like we come in, we make sure that, you know, like we established ourselves as the people that provide these kind of services, and we've shown significant amount of you know, just efforts that shows like we are here to dominate the market as well. Next, we have a lot of things are coming up. We will get to a point where we would have stuff for the end users, to the consumers, to utilize our systems, for them to kind of have that experience where, okay, the Nourishes is providing me with X, Y, and Z, and this is kind of eliminating other aspects instead of me kind of using multiple stuff right now. This is very centric. This is very, it has everything inclusively within one app, right?
Okay.
So these are let's say this is the same thing goes as well for the experts. The experts kind of what they do is, let's say, if they use this management system, they still need, if let's take personal trainers, if they're doing online training, they still need to go and utilize other ways and other methods for them to manage their clients who are in different countries, through Zoom, or let's say sending them like programs online where they do it manually and stuff. These are like just, I'm telling you, tools that are scattered, or you kind of need to use them through different applications, where we want to kind of make sure that we consolidate it under one umbrella, and you still pay a very reasonable fee for that.
From the supply side, you're talking about reasonable fee. Yeah. Because from the customer side, because that's depending on who they hire.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm guessing the agent or your freelancer who's putting up their services through your site or through your portal charges or lists how much they're willing to work for whatever, right?
Yeah.
And the setup so far, do you see it more as like an hourly thing, Hamad, or do you see it more as like a project-based thing?
Packages. Most of the people sell their services as sessions.
Sure.
And, like similar to mine, like either one session, 5, 10, and whatnot. So most of them, clients, experts do the session basis. Some personal trainers does the monthly kind of thing, like, okay, you pay me by the month. So we have a duration base or the session base as well.
Okay. It is a fascinating concept. I think it definitely needs a facelift, and I think it needs to be defined a little bit better, because I feel like you put experts in from all kinds of fields, because I feel like you have experts who are PTs, experts who are like wellness, experts who are like business.
So we have defined them under 15 pillars.
Okay.
So again, because we want to be similar to Upworks, where you have people that have a certain talent under the umbrella of health, wellness, and self-development.
Yeah.
Anything that would add value to you as a person and help you live a better quality of life. Right?
So
we kind of define them into physical activity. You have healers, sound healers, or like music healers and whatnot. There's Reiki healers. We have parenting. We have relationships, like counselors. We have as well behavioral counselors, behavioral therapists, speech therapists, these kind of as well, these kind of experts, yoga instructors, dancers, like we have dancing as well, like Zumba or any other kind of dancing exercises. We try to segment them. Like I could list them down for you, but the beauty of all this is, from a consumer perspective, this is the value proposition that we're selling, right? From a user perspective is, if you want to work with Hamad and Hamad doesn't have a good online presence, or Hamad doesn't have PT or personal trainer or nutritionist or whatnot onto my Instagram account, you wouldn't be able to find me.
Okay.
Right? What we have is a search engine that would help end users find these experts based on the segment, location, reviews, and eventually the type of services they're providing, right?
Okay. Because this is the key difference. This is the USP that we're after the show. I'm more than happy to tell you to help you with your elevator pitch, because you really need to work on this, Hamad, because it took me a little while to understand what this business is, and now I get it. It's not corporate in the sense of it's for businesses necessarily looking for other businesses' skill. It's more as an individual spaces of finding that person to help you with your wellness. Is that so far clearly defined, right?
We are like B2B and B2C as well. Right?
Sure. But it's not like you're looking. It's not like you're putting on your website per se graphic designers, accountants.
No.
Thank you.
That's what we're saying. If it's
I get you now. I get you.
If we're gonna sum it up from a consumer perspective, we are an online directory of lifestyle and well-being experts.
Thank you.
This is when it comes to an end consumer. When it comes to the experts, we are an agency that helps you facilitate and manage your business in a better way. So as simple as that.
Beautiful elevator pitch. Love it.
I was trying to explain it to you, man.
No, I mean, you at the end you made it simple. At the beginning, you fucking were like dancing around the issue.
I was trying to dumb it down, man. Yeah, man.
No, it's a really interesting concept. I mean, I think marketing it is going to be a headache. And what's the stages of where we at right now? Are you doing a lot of like Google ad space? Is that how you see the growth happening?
So next will be relaunching the website.
Sure.
The new, the first release.
Yeah, facelift or whatever.
So
sure.
We've tested out the market, we tested out the product, learned a lot of what's going on. We made a good amount of revenue in the first year. And right now we slowed down the operations just to make sure that we come up with the needed product, right? So this will be phase one. With phase one, eventually I told you that we have the TV show coming up. So this would help us from a PR perspective as well. And with it, we're gonna work on the application.
This has to do because this is another thing we never talked about was the Shark Tank thing.
Yeah, Beban.
Yeah, Beban. Sorry. So is the Beban thing to do with the show, or is Beban thing to do with the
website?
With the website.
The website is basically my startup.
Okay. Because technically your startup, I'm guessing, would be your freelance work, which would have been the very first businesses you made, right?
Yeah. Right. The funny part is I literally built I built the website for myself.
Yeah.
When I built this website, and because of remember we talked about the collaborations, I realized there was a gap in the market, and I've seen a lot of these people struggling with the same thing. Customers not paying them. Customers are kind of having this difficulty where they cannot communicate easily with the coaches. Where right now, okay, Hamad, what time could I meet you?
Sure.
Going back and forth instead of having a calendar, right? A lot of people are not tech savvy. Hamad, you don't know how many excellent experts are out there that are not good in marketing or branding or utilizing social media.
I agree. I agree.
So this is where I come in. I want to help you guys, literally. I want to help you guys do better with all these things that you don't like to do. Because that doesn't define you as an expert. You are good in the field of that you're in, the services that you're providing. Focus on that. Let the headache, I don't like operations myself. That's why I did this. So yeah.
Okay. And are we still at seed funding, or where are we at now?
Yeah. So when I first started back in 2020, it was at the idea stage. So that's the pre-seed investment that I got. Right now, I'm still at pre-seed. With the second investment that we're looking to raise right now will be hopefully our seed funding.
Sure. And what kind of numbers are you hoping for?
Hopefully it's going to be an average of 70 to 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
100,000 BD you're talking about, right? 70 to 100,000 BD. Okay. And what will that enable you to do?
So far we are.
So how is that money going to be used, basically?
So far right now, I'm glad to say that I got a CTO on board again. This guy is taking care of most of the stuff. So the whole amount's going to be divided on straightaway expansion.
Okay.
So working just enhancing the website, releasing the application, and straightaway expansion. With the expansion, it's because I mentioned that we are the agency that helps people with improving themselves. We're very human-centric, so I would need a couple of key players that are going to be established in different countries. And for us also to operate, we need to open up bank accounts and let's say even whatever hot desks.
Offshore holdings is definitely going to be needed, and escrow as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely to make sure the payouts, this is one of the main things that's why we need to have external presence.
Sure.
Because of the payouts, to make it more legal, let's say, for the legalities.
And do you see yourself currently operating mostly in the domestic market, or do you want to jump into the big water immediately?
There was a significant growth in 1 year. Almost the well-being industry has literally almost 15% growth since last year until this year, and it's growing very rapidly.
Dan, can you do me a favor? Can you look up? I think it's called Goop.
Goop, or there's another. There's a website called Wellness.
No, Goop. It's I think Goop. P, maybe? Goop? Yeah, it's with that actress. Yeah, what is her name? I can't read it. Pardon me? Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth. Okay.
My sleep milk secrets.
So she does wellness as well.
Okay.
This is, I think, can you go on wellness first, Dan? Wellness,
yeah.
And then shops, blah, 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 blah. G-spot vibrator, that's not here or there. Spirituality, parenthood, career, money, ethics, earth and civils, the group, podcast, book club. Can you look up value? All right, can you go back? Sorry, can you go to Google? And can you type in valuation? I think they've been valued at over $1 billion, but this could be just my imagination. Nice. $250 million. I was off by 75%. I was far off. But can you look up a Goop event? So this might be something interesting for your company. Is to go to, they do pop up like events where they get all their group. I think they call themselves Goopies.
Goop.
Yeah, they call themselves Goopies, I think, and they do they go to this Gwyneth Paltrow event where they show all these new services and products. So. Okay. Maybe this is a good space to put yourself in. Yeah. I mean, 250 million is not $1 billion, but it's still 250 million, right? Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm very passionate about this field, man, and there is a lot to give, especially that the wellness industry is still kind of new to the MENA region as a whole. People are always investing in sports. There's a lot of money that's going into sports, but right now, since the past 2 years, wellness is becoming something that's very known. You get to hear a lot of people talking about mindfulness. A lot of people talking about mental health. All that voodoo around, mental health is becoming kind of accepted right now. People are talking more openly about it. So, these kind of matters is something that we want to touch upon and create more awareness, more events, more corporate programs for companies to create a better work environment. And eventually, who do we need to facilitate that is the experts. And that's why we work as an agency to make them, well-known, position them, help them, and work with them.
Okay, let's strategize here a little bit. I think the best way for your business to grow is through an email chain, or not an email chain, email marketing. I think it's probably best through newsletters. Mm-hmm. So if I was in your position, I would hire a really good writer from Upwork or whatever. Yeah, you spilled water all over yourself. And aren't you embarrassed?
I love how you put the camera on me as well.
We're going to use this in the highlight reel. So yeah, I would write a newsletter and make it at 7 a.m. So obviously you can set the publication so it sends at 7 a.m., right? You don't fucking have to sit there and write it at 6, right? Yeah. These are we're living the future now. I'd get a really good writer, and then I would talk about topics that are particularly important in the wellness industry, and highlight how people have grown because of it. Happiness, blah blah blah. Like I would do it almost an interview stylish with existing customer bases of your existing customer bases. Like you just mentioned with a lady who's married, 3 kids, blah 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 blah. And get a really, really good writer. Put that as a story. And every day, 5 days a week or 7 days a week, I would probably do 5 days a week. Send it as 7 a.m. wellness coach, 7 a.m. highlights, 7 a.m. something, right? And you do that as a newsletter. Then you go on any of these bot websites and just buy a ton of email addresses. They're pennies to the dollar. And then just start marketing your website through that, right? And that engraves it in your customer space slowly over time.
These are the people.
These are the people. And then when you have your website up and running, right? You have then these experts coming in. You can then showcase and put stories of those people. You don't make it as a sales pitch. You don't say like, oh, book your free consultation with like Jim. No. That sales funnel begins with, we're going to highlight today, this week's highlight is Jim, who has worked with plastic clients, blah, 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 and helps fold solutions. And you need a really good writer to write it as an emotional piece. Because this is the thing with content. It's people are sick and tired of feeling apathy. They want to be given a reason to care. They want to feel, right? But generally, because of how much like shit is thrown at you, you don't give a shit, right? You see a school shooting, it happens somewhere, you don't care. You see a place being bombed, you don't care. It's not where you live, right? People want to have a reason to care.
A lot of people became desensitized
emotionally. Yeah. And
let's see, like psychological marketing is one of the key factors that we need for this, because more or less, why are you going to care about what we provide if you don't care about yourself? You're about your health.
Sure.
So one of the main things is definitely we're going to work on, to be honest, we haven't worked on putting like good amount of marketing, because as I said, when we piloted it, we just wanted to see the need for this. And when we were able to kind of get like a significant amount of like users and experts utilizing it, as a start, I was like, we were happy with the result. And this is where I'm telling you, we actually won a couple of competitions, and
fantastic, absolutely.
And the fact is, we're not going to stop. Like, we want to get to the social aspect. I just told you about the community, and that we kind of like, this is on a personal level that I'm doing. What is the dream here? On a personal level, I was able to reach out to a certain amount of people, right? Now, as a collective, I could literally live my dream through these experts, because what we are doing right now is, if I work with you as an expert, how many more people you be able to impact, right?
Okay.
So this is ultimately where I want to go with this.
You're thinking of law of greater returns kind of situation. Yeah. Again, I mean, that is that, and this is this. There's a few tying connections strenuously, but it's not really like it's not causational. There's a correlation, but not causational. I still think that you should scrape up about 100 BD, 200 BD if you're fancy.
Don't get me wrong. Like right now, this is one of the main things that we're going to work on with the launch of the new website. Advertisements, when it comes to the newsletters, we actually do have our newsletter that's up and running, and we've been sending. And the beauty of this is going to be bilingual. This is one of the main things. There's not a single platform out there that was providing what we're providing in both languages.
Sorry to interrupt you again, Hamad. Dan, can you look up Scott Galloway?
Scott Galloway?
He's the only professor I would do a master's with at NYU CERN. He go on No Mercy, No Malice. Left. First one. So this is any one of these. This is his newsletters, by the way.
Nice.
So click any one of you want. Dan. And you can just scroll up and down. It's it makes sense for him, because he's a business focused guru, right? So it's very precise. It's very high quality. It's very beautifully designed.
Nice.
And he leverages his newsletters for his teaching videos, his webinars, basically. And his webinars cost $1,000 to go in to do a course. And it's like 7 days or 2 weeks, something like that. And it's 1 hour per day. But it's not like him live. It's just like a recorded video that you get to watch.
Damn.
And then once a week.
Yeah.
He then comes on to like a live show, and you can ask him questions,
Nice.
which is already pre-set questions from the crowd. But if you keep scrolling down, I mean, these diagrams, the stuff that he's written it, he's done it, he does it all.
Nice. Oh, this is like elegantly done. I will tell you that. Yeah.
And this is, this is even one of the worst ones. He's done some really, really beautiful ones. He sold his company L2 Inc. for around $250 million, something like that. But I was 75% wrong. so cut that by 75%. I might have a right figure.
That's amazing. Like, I mean, I loved how like resourceful you are in from this aspect, to be honest. Like, especially when it comes to how detailed, like, you know, I never heard about the
no malice, no George Galloway.
No. Yeah.
No mercy, no malice.
No.
I mean, it's really smart, and I think it's even smarter that he puts an audio edition for his newsletter.
Nice.
That is, no one is, for whatever reason, thought about that.
Nice.
Right?
So he reads through the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, scroll down, Dan. Look at how beautiful these graphs are designed, some of these. Right? Very concise. Nice use of white space. He puts comments at the bottom. So he takes his newsletters and then turns it into his website, and then allows people to comment onto it to create even more feedback.
Nice. This is interesting, yeah.
I still think, right? I mean, this is even without your website up and running right now, I would still just hire a girl or a guy to do the writing.
The copywriting, yeah.
And just focus on that. Just focus on that. Grow it. Make people really feel connected to your brand. And then when the website launches, then you'll have maybe like 2,000, maybe 1,000, maybe even only but if you had 500 people on it who genuinely care about what you're producing content over it, that's 500 customers immediately.
So this, alhamdulillah, as you've seen, like our page has grown quite well, and we had almost within the first year, even though we worked with very minimal amount of experts, we had over 3,000 people who actually used our platform. So 3,200, and like we had, and most of them are like paying customers as well. So the thing is, like, as I mentioned before, we kind of talked about, I had a couple of challenges, but right now, alhamdulillah, I feel like everything is stabling out, and this is where we're going to the next step. And with this, I want to bring better services, better website, better kind of momentum even to it, so that it's kind of it will leave an impact to people and understand what's our values and what we're doing with this.
So tell me now about the show.
So it is an investment reality show, similar to Shark Tank, as you mentioned, where we are being prepped since this month until next month. And with it, they're going to be a recording of us actually sitting down with the investors, one go, even though it's a recording, but eventually it's a one go, where you pitch in your idea, which mine is going to be the nourishers, basically. And you give them the ask based on the equity. So that's me on the right side. Yo, representing.
Hey.
Anyways, so this is.
Don't they have an office space, Beban?
They do, yeah.
Yeah, right. I'm not imagining that, right? Yeah, it is a co-working space as well, right?
Yeah. So Beban is done by Beban is done by Hope, but the company actually that's providing the what's called the boot camp is Brink.
Why does that sound familiar? Okay. I feel like there's a huge weight off my chest.
Yeah.
Because for the last couple of guests that we've had on, I've had this like idea just buzzing in my head, which was, and every time I say it, I'm worried because I'm committing it into reality, and that was to have like 3 consultants on one side, and then bringing in an entrepreneur who has to be vetted, obviously, and then spending an entire month with them, giving them advice financially, their marketing, their operations, wellness, sure, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then following them with a crew while they're doing the decisions. You have to dramatize it a bit, right? 100%. Have some customers, like paid actors, coming in and yelling. You got to make it entertaining, right? No one wants to watch something for 45 minutes where he's just sitting in a cubicle. That's not content,
100%, yeah.
right? And so every time I said that out loud, in back of my head, I was like, "Fuck! It's a little bit more. it's a little bit more commitment. It's a little bit more commitment." And now that I know there's Beban and other people who are already doing it, I'm so happy.
Good, man. No, to be honest, like season 1 was good.
Sure.
This time they're doing it so much better, and as you mentioned, this time they want to make it more entertaining. They want to make it more dramatic. You know, they want people getting more engaged, and they want it to be more kind of realistic.
They need get a guy from Egypt. They need a Masti on, you know. They need somebody on who goes, "Hey!" You need somebody on who has like a real character.
But the beauty of it, they mentioned that they're prepping the investors. You know, that's so right now it's kind of a show for us as entrepreneurs and for the investors. So
Sure.
That's the beauty of it. So I guess everyone is gonna bring their A game.
I mean, I can already imagine it. Like somebody comes up, shows like how much money they want, like 100,000, but they have like I don't know, like a dog cleaning business or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then you can just like I can already hear the edit in my head. It cuts, shows to the investors, and then it goes like, I would like 100,000 for this dog cleaning, whatever business. Dun dun dun. The whole edit is already in my head. Oh, by the way, this is not a stink on Hanlo, by the way. I do think your dog walking business is interesting and does deserve its finance. I'm talking about a dog cleaning business, but oh shit, does he do dog cleaning as well? No, he doesn't.
Dog grooming.
Yeah, only dog grooming.
That's not what he said before we go on live.
Yeah. I feel like he'll be insulted. I like his dog walking business. I mean, I think the problem is with a lot of investors out there, they don't have any. They don't have any. What's the right word? Fuck. What, Dan? Do you remember the word? What it was called? They don't have enough. Is it called gear? Yeah, the gearing ratio isn't right.
Gearing ratio. What
Yeah.
do you mean by that?
In the sense of they're asking for investors' money, but they're not willing to have any debt in their own business. If you're coming to me as
no. See, like for me, I would say, let's say Luai invested a lot of time and effort into his business, I would say. And the thing is,
oh, we're talking about Loy here.
yeah, like I'm just saying in general.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you, but yeah, Loy. Yeah.
Like for me, I kind of like right now I am investing into my company by myself as well. And don't forget, like I'm doing this full time, even though I do the coaching, but I'm reinvesting it in my business as well. The only thing is I would tell you is, we don't have the appetite for these kind of stuff, right? Like for us, if you're gonna say the investors are not keen into seeing a dog walking application, and they're like, and wellness, like this is not a gym, you know what I mean? So like they might not be too open for the ideas. If it wasn't for hope, I would say, you know, for profiling us and understanding, you know what, this business is doing like X amount over there, like on the other side of the world, and where and is evaluated at this much, it will end up coming here. But eventually, why don't you kind of work around these entrepreneurs who are actually, you know, taking that first step initiative and supporting them financially to be able to kind of be the success stories from the region?
But Habibi, I think we're miscommunicating. What I'm saying with Lo, and I told him this also on the show, he first he needs to set up an LTD, a limited trade bank account. Second, he needs to have debt, at least partly, on his company. Because if you're going to an investor and you have zero debt, that means, to me as an investor, you don't believe in your fucking company and you don't want to spend your own money. You're coming to me to spend my money. And we can play around the words and we can do it anything else. And maybe some investors don't see it that way. But I ain't putting a single penny of my own money if you're not willing to put any single penny of your own money.
Okay, I did.
Do you get what I mean with that?
I did. Would you want to invest in my company? I did.
Well, tell me more about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Later on.
Absolutely.
All right.
But would you?
That's, totally. Like for now, see, for me, like I don't come from a background where like I had family members who are into businesses. Like I had no one around me that would influence me or teach me this kind of stuff, right? I came from out of university, business background, but I went to the private sector and then the government sector.
I understand, Hamad. I do.
So when it came to businesses, in my mind, I thought, okay, if I want to start a business, either someone gives me the money, like family members and whatnot, or I'll take a loan and start my own business.
Thank you.
Right? So this is the mentality. But once I gone into this ecosystem, like the startup communities and whatnot, I realized there's like oceans of money waiting for people like me to come up with an idea or a concept that was investable. Okay? But
sure.
I understand where you're coming from. Let's say I put a lot of skin into this.
Sure.
Let's say, for me, if it wasn't for me doing it on a personal level, as you mentioned, you said it, my startup is me.
Sure.
Right? Because I started as a coach myself. I've done corporate wellness programs. I've done the services. I've utilized multiple applications and whatnot to manage my business until I got into a point where I understand the gap and I created a business out of it. So, this is like you kind of made me realize this from a different perspective right now. So I've done my due diligence. So when I talk about my business, I know I have, I have a track record of how does this work, what is needed, and how to implement it in the right way. Maybe, as you mentioned, there's a lot of things that I might need to learn and to implement right now. But I'm always, I keep myself teachable, because eventually, like, you might have more experiences than me. You might have more knowledge than me in these kind of aspects, right? So,
I mean, that's the best way of overcoming biases and cognitive dissonance is by always assuming a position of learning rather than a position of knowledge. Dan, can you look up Don Crooner effect? I really make Dan work today, aren't I?
How many tabs are we actually going to keep?
Whatever. Is it the Dunning-Kruger effect? It basically means with
okay.
Yeah. So for people who are listening and can't see the image and don't know what it is, it basically states that when you have a low amount of knowledge over a field of subject, you assume you have a high amount of skill, right? And as you progress and you learn more about that skill, you realize that you have absolutely zero knowledge of this skill.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know how to describe the curve for you, but it goes a steep incline, then it crashes, and then it slowly increases to the top. Yeah. Ironically, this is where the imposter syndrome come in, because people of high skill and high knowledge will often think that they're not an expert in that field. And so, in fact, what occurs is that the curve bypasses and you have larger knowledge as actual knowledge than the perceived knowledge that you have, rather than the vice versa.
I love this one. See, when they start from nothing and then it goes like, okay, I'm so great. This is most of the people that I work with, especially the ones that they just jump into the coaching field or the training field. This is where the ego comes in role. And when they start implementing what they learn, they get to know, they get to see that they're not as good as they thought, because this is where the feedback comes in. Like if I work with you and eventually I don't bring the results to the table, maybe it's because of you not putting in the work. But some people might come in and be like, you know what, I'm not satisfied with your service. This is straight away what goes to the to the dip, I would say here, what it says, I know nothing. Straight away this is where this
they get slapped.
Exactly, the imposter syndrome comes in, and you get to see them going and getting another certification and another certification. not because they want to like expand their knowledge and provide different services, but they feel like they're not good enough. And literally, the measure of how good you are is how well you could implement that knowledge and simplify it to the end user, for like the receiver, let's say, or the consumer, for them to utilize that as a tool and better their life or whatnot, right?
I'm with you. But this is, by the way, the Don Cooter effect. I guarantee you, anyone who's listening, you're experiencing it right now. I'm experiencing it right now at some capacity. Like every human being experiences it. And the weird thing is, subconsciously, we all do it. We know about it, yet we don't stop ourselves. We can't. It's ingrained for whatever reason.
Because we're not open to criticism, right?
In this culture, absolutely, yeah. I witness that on a daily basis, son.
Hamad, like for me, I learn how to humble myself at the end of the day, because I want to make sure that I keep on progressing in a way that I would be able to take all this that I know and still make it into bite-sized wisdom, or let's say information for you to utilize it. Because let's say if I work with sometimes the client, they're not on the same level as I am, and if I'm not able to kind of dumb it down, or simplify it into the simplest form for you to receive it, it shows how I'm trying to choose the right words because it might offend a lot of people.
Take your time.
But
offend them. Fuck them.
Okay. But it shows how you're not an efficient expert, because what are you if you can't, at the end of the day, if you're gonna work with me, like let's say as a personal trainer, do you want to know the human anatomy? You don't want to know, you don't want to know this is called, the quads.
You're barking up the wrong tree with me, son.
But that's the thing, you want to go, we're gonna work out today, upper or lower. We go and make it as simple as possible, for that you don't need to carry the weight of the type of information. You're here to have a good time.
Dude, you're talking to a guy who can pull out of his ass the Dunning-Kruger effect. Do you really think I would not be like, oh, tell me about the top head of the bicep and the lower head of the bicep? Can you tell me? Do you really not think I would be asking you about the three forms of the tricep muscle, the upper, medium, and lower?
Thank you so much. This is something that for me as an expert, I would enjoy this, because, for me, if we have someone that I could discuss matters, and it shows that you're willing to learn, to understand what is it that you're doing, it's more it makes me happier, because now it says you are interested in learning, which gives me indication that you are someone that I could, at the end of the day, teach and let you do it by yourself, which is literally what's the main goal of every expert.
Okay.
The main expert, if you are an expert, you are helping someone with an undeveloped area in their life until they are competent enough to depend on themselves.
Yes.
Not you.
Yes, but that's a moralistic aspect to it.
This is a more ethical way of working.
Right, because there's a lot of people who are just in it for the money, right? Exactly. Let's also be fair.
100%. No,
right? And they're just out there giving you bad advice because they want that cash. Let's be honest as well, right?
True.
Right? And so that differentiates you compared to everyone else.
I'm not telling you I'm better than anyone, but at least
I think you are.
I'm just for me, I see it from a perspective where that I am ethical in this sense, and this is how I view it. So
I think you are. I think it's great that you're. It's great that you're taking the time, and more importantly, you're putting yourself and your emotions out there to actually work with somebody, and not just seeing someone as a method of an ends to a means, right? That you're just seeing them as a wallet, right? And you're taking that humanity out of it. Sure, there's still transaction. You've got to eat. Everyone's got to eat, right? But it is what it is. Absolutely. Now, you brought yourself back into the client world. How many clients are you seeing at the moment?
Now?
Yeah. You can make up a number for all I care.
No, I'm just giving you my active clients. I would say my sweet spot is around 7 per month, to make sure that it covers up my my expenses and my living standards, I would say. And it gives me enough time to be able to give them full attention. So I kind of limit my clients per month as well.
Okay. So you're working
other than that, these are the coaching experts. But right now I started introducing the 6 a.m. class where I do like a group training.
Is it like a webinar?
No. Person like physical
PT.
training, PT.
Okay.
Yeah, so I do like a body weight exercises where I do 6 a.m.
Sure.
And starting August, I'll be having the 6 a.m.
Sure.
for adults, 2 p.m. for adults, 10 a.m. for kids as well.
10 a.m. for kids as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think you're going to get a lot of adults at 6 a.m.?
So far my class has 6.
Sure.
And this is something that's interesting. Even though, let's say, I've worked with a significant amount of people on coaching, still personal training is something completely new. It's like not less than a month old, right? And it...
Okay. I'm just sorry. My brain is trying to work out. Is it the 7 that you mentioned who are with you as a coaching? Are those the same 6 then?
No.
Okay, so these are 2 different numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when it comes to the coaching,
Okay.
these are individuals that I work with them like in the terms of well-being, right?
Okay.
So these are
So you gave me a migraine.
So it's a collection between like the one-on-ones, let's say.
Okay.
Right? But when I do the corporate, to do the group trainings, these are the personal trainings, or let's say the group training that I do. So I have 3 that I'm introducing in August, and this has nothing to do with the one-on-ones.
And the kids thing, which is a 10, is
physical as well.
Is physical. This is not what you're doing for the charity. This is a whole separate other thing, right? And that's also purely physical, right? That's okay. And how much? So what's the rates that we're charging here?
For the group training, for the adults, I charge. It's the launching price that I'm having.
Sure.
So the next month I'm gonna raise it up. So it's gonna be 50 BD.
Putting scarcity in it. I love it.
So it's gonna be 50 BD
per class
for the class for the whole month.
Whole month.
And then 50 BD for the whole month of August. But you can pay 80 BD and get the gym memberships with it.
Okay, so are you working with a gym then?
Yeah.
And can you mention?
Yeah, it's called Reps Fitness Center, which is in Jaffer.
Okay.
So either you pay 50 for the classes, which is three times a week.
Okay.
Or pay 80 and you have access to the whole gym.
That's 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and 80 BD, you're gonna have like access to the gym throughout the whole month, where they provide as well classes, like different kind of classes as well.
Okay. Okay.
But the kids class, I'm doing it with...
Is there a discount associated with that gym when you're buying it with you with 80? Yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe you should highlight that if you're doing the sales pitch.
80 BD, yeah, it's going to be much more cheaper. Like, if you take it as a package, it's much cheaper as well.
Okay. And what about the kids then?
The kids is going to be 40 BD, and it's going to be in Muharraq Model Youth Center. Okay. Which is, I'm associating, like I'm working with...
That's in Jaffer as well?
No, it's in Busaytin.
So how long does it, how do you get there then? How long does it take you to drive from Jaffer to there?
15 to 20 minutes.
Christ almighty. Okay.
Because this is like something like a summer camp program that I'm doing with the Ministry of Youth and Sports with the ministries.
You got to put your time in, son. Yeah. So how many kids are we talking about?
We put a cap of 15.
Okay. Oh, wow. You put a cap on 15. So
we're trying to make sure that doesn't go, like, depending on the space.
Okay.
We just want to make sure that it's comfortable for everyone, yeah.
And that's how often? Also 3 days a week?
This is the first time, yeah. 3 days a week, 3 days a week, yeah.
Okay. A weekend or no weekends?
No. So it's Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays.
Okay.
So 6 to 7, 10 to 11, 2 to 3.
And what about the coaching then? How much is that costing?
The coaching, let's say do
you charge by month or hour, or how does that work?
I do one session if you want one session, which is 45 BD.
Okay.
And the package of 5 is around 200. Okay. The personal training as well for 10 sessions is 280.
So do you do a discount then, I assume, for your people that you're coaching to do also their PT?
Yeah. So whoever is doing, let's say, well-being, and they want to do.
So like a master package then?
Yeah, I do like a all-inclusive package, which is depending like on what kind of how many sessions they're looking for.
Okay, and that would also include the business as well, or would that not include that?
Like for me, yeah. Like at the end of the day, I just want I don't want to just kind of consider like each and every one. If you're taking the well-being and be like, okay, Hamad, I need help with this. Eventually, I help out as much as I can.
Okay, you're not being like, that's another 20 PD.
Yeah,
if you're asking me business questions, son, you know.
But that's the thing, man. Like you want, at the end of the day, for me, why do I want to take your money? Why am I taking the money? As you mentioned, it's an exchange of energy.
That was a slip.
Yeah. So like the thing is, you are here for a service, yet we're building a relationship. And if it's gonna be something around, if this is meant to help a difficulty, and it will ease some stress and whatnot, why not? Let me help you as much as I can.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to bring up? Anything else you want to add on to it?
I'm launching the podcast.
Sure.
Which is just the 1st of August. I had.
I'm going to be hopefully the first guest. If I'm not, then I'm going to be upset.
I'll be more than happy to have you.
The first guest, yeah?
No. Sorry.
What the fuck? What do you mean no?
So because the first will be launched as the first episode.
Yeah, it should be your mom then.
Huh?
It should be your mom and dad then.
No, he's doing it solo.
He's doing it solo.
Not even solo. I have a speaker.
What the fuck? I can understand if you're like, listen, Hamad, I can't do it. We even have the same fucking name. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What are you talking about?
Okay. Let's rewind. I'm thinking of launching my new podcast. Would you like to be on it?
As long as I'm the first, definitely. Fuck it out. If you would have said, listen, son. See how upset I am? If you would have said, like, listen, son, it's like mom and dad. They have to be like first episode. I'll be like, yeah, okay, sure, I can understand that.
Oh, man. No.
Fuck it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so how often are we planning to do this podcast? What's the...
To be honest, to be able to juggle around everything that I have, it might be once a month.
Once a month?
Yeah.
Let me give you some advice, son. Once a week.
Once a week. It's not doable.
Yeah, it is. It's 2 hours in a day. Just don't sleep.
We'll think about that. And I'm actually planning on bringing back like the community gatherings I said. Mm-hmm. So we're planning on launching a breakfast club as well.
Okay.
So again, that's going to be once a month.
That's the once a month thing as well.
Yep.
Okay. And that's going to be weekends though, I assume, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to invite who? Past and present clients?
Past, present clients and people that are part of the community.
Like stakeholders?
I do actually have a WhatsApp group that people that kind of came into my previous talks or people that participated in the initiatives that I did before. So I have like a WhatsApp group that has a couple of people in it. So we're inviting these people in, and eventually they might bring their friends, and eventually it will drag into.
You know what could work for him really well, Dan? I think we'll talk about this later, but I think what you need to set up is a Discord server.
Okay.
Right? I think that might be.
But do people? Here, do a lot of people use Discord? I know gamers do.
Yeah, but you always want to be ahead of the curve, son. Okay. Right? Well, if you do it first, or you're one of the first to do it while everyone else is trying to get used to it, you're already out doing it.
All right.
So I think a Discord would work really well with you for that platform.
I guess Hamad is becoming my strategist.
Hey, dude, this is part of the show. You come on, you get free advice. What can I tell you?
No, I really enjoyed the talk, man.
I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you do. So how do people find you if they want to check you out?
Well, I am on every platform as thenourisher.com.
Okay.
Sorry. The Nourisher BH, sorry.
Okay.
Thenourisher.com is my business account. So
why the BH? Remove the BH, son.
Because there is someone who took the Nourisher and she's not even using the account. I tried to get in touch with her, but because I used this and it actually grew, so eventually I opened up every other platform as one.
How about this? I'll try to reach out from my contacts, and I'll try to get you a blue tick.
Okay.
To we'll talk about it after the show a little bit.
Nice.
Because it's not an easy process, and then we can see if you can get the other account. Yeah.
Sounds good, man.
All right, cool. Anything else you'd like to add? Anything else you want to speak out to the public, your fans, your friends, your family? Love you, mom and dad.
Well, first of all, I would say thank you. Thank you for having me, man. Even though I actually was finding it a bit odd not having your phone number or email to get here, but
I found it a bit odd that a guest called me fat, but here we are. I mean, I
said bigger, kind of taller, like built big,
like a house.
But yeah, thank you for having me, and thank you for what you're doing, man.
Pleasure's all mine.
Other than that, for people, please, invest in yourself. I know sometimes people don't see the significance around it, or they see it like a luxury service, but you are the one that's gonna last, until the end of time. Of your time, basically. So take good care of yourself, invest in yourself, and try to better yourself at least 1% a day. Always progress over perfection, I would say. I wouldn't sell myself, but eventually, if you have an undeveloped area that you might need help with, please reach out to me or any expert. Remove that idea that I might, I don't need help, first of all. Because eventually, if you go to any new job, like from schools, we had teachers. In university, we had professors. At work, we had supervisors and training. You always had someone to kind of help you elevate, right? In our case right now, we have these experts. So please reach out to help you elevate your life skills or your health and whatnot. Other than that, stakeholders, investors, we have a business. If you'd like to kind of have a piece of the cake, you're right here.
I think so too. I think if you're an investor right now and you're looking for something that is in the Middle East, something that's interesting, I'll definitely give it a check out. I think it's, especially if you're looking for coming in early, I think this is a really great opportunity. For the people out there, for the intrinsic value of improving your life, has the benefit of 10xing your value, not just from a monetary standpoint, but also your happiness. If you're happy, your kids are happy, your wife is happy, it makes everything else work, right?
100%.
I think you should give Hamad a shout out or message him ASAP. He's already working with 7 people. I don't think he can work with a lot more on his timetable while running a business. I think your max is like 10 people, I'd imagine, right? So there's maybe 3 more seats. So I would say rush, hurry up, contact, and book. Other than that, dude, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, you like that sales pitch?
That was a good one, man. Thank you so much.